Akira Kurosawa's Yojimbo and Sergio Leone's For a Fistful of Dollars tell the same story. Kurosawa's film is from 1961, and Leone's is an unacknowledged 1964 Western remake for which the Italian director was sued by the Japanese director. In both movies, a man arrives in a village divided between two rival gangs fighting for control of the territory, and because of his skills, one with a katana and the other with a gun, the bosses of both gangs try to hire his services. Yojimbo had music by Masaru Sato in his fifth film with Kurosawa, and For a Fistful of Dollars was the first film Ennio Morricone made with Sergio Leone, both signed with pseudonyms, Morricone as Leo Nichols and Leone as Rob Robertson. Both soundtracks also have in common that they have a theme music for the protagonist. And another one for the town and its people. Although, of course, with distinctly different music. Both protagonists have musical themes. The Ronin's is presented together with him in the movie. It is a sober theme and appears a little more than a dozen times, always and at all times with him, giving him strength and character. Although it also brings a more intimate and dramatic side. In the end, however, he regains his energy and leaves the movie as he entered it, full of energy. The theme of the gunslinger, on the other hand, is not so much the character and the emotions of the character, but his aura as a solitary figure who keeps to himself and does not share his emotions. The theme is presented in its full version as the opening theme in the credits. The whistle and flute signal his individuality. Just a few notes are enough to emphasize that he is in control of the situation.
It's going to be a quiet town until Ramon gets back. Is that clear? A quiet town.
The theme also has dynamic variations. And also dramatic.
He says he knows nothing. He's trying to be smart. Bring him here to me.
And it ends with a conclusion similar to the beginning. Masaru Sato and Ennio Morricone musically portrayed the villages and their people in very different ways. Sato's musical theme has two different parts. One is lighthearted, and the other is serious. The combination of the two creates an almost comical tone that contrasts with the seriousness and rigidity of the Ronin's music. The music is also reminiscent of Henry Mancini and other contemporary composers. This music helps to de-dramatize the conflict between the clans and in a way trivialize them both. In this context, and in even sharper contrast, is the highly dramatic theme of the mother. Who brings a point of humanity quite different from the stupidity of the conflict of which she and her family are victims. Her flight from the village, with a Baroque version of the theme, emphasizes the nobility and purity that the Ronin is trying to protect. This sadness in the music of the mother and her family in Kurosawa's film is carried throughout the village and its people in Leone's film.
Don Miguel Rojo, I want to talk to you. Don Miguel, I hear you're hiring on men.
And unlike Sato's music, which is modern, for the audience of his time, Morricone's music evokes the past, with funereal airs, for this is music more of death than of life, unlike the gunman's theme, which is much more of life than of death. And there is more. Like Sato's music, Morricone's theme has two parts. Here, in addition to the lament, it also has a ritual tone, the ritual of death. When the family is saved by their departure, the music remains, and the gunman prepares for the duel not with his own music, but with this theme. Which elevates its meaning and transcendence, a starting point for the sacralization of the ritual of death that would be so characteristic of the later films of Leone and Morricone. Despite the structural, and certainly not musical, similarities between Sato's and Morricone's soundtracks, there is nothing to suggest that Kurosawa's film was also musically versioned. They are similar, but also very different. Neither of them is one of the best in their field, and each is interesting in its own right. But when compared, their virtues become even more apparent. In this musical duel, neither is defeated by the music of the other. What comes out more alive than ever is the art of cinema itself.